Good morning, guys. I am on my way to a pretty little parking spot at a local park here to talk about something that I feel really strongly about, and that is the value and versatility in starting out with a no build for your minivan or SUV or car or truck camper. And we're going to talk about why and about some of the changes that I've made to Terra. I'm sure you can see behind me right now that there's some pretty significant ones that I'm going to show you more of as well. And I hope you'll stick around because I think that you'll see kind of my thought processes involved in the tweaks that I've made, and kind of really just shows how flexible it is to start out with a no build and how it can really be beneficial for you. All right, I will join you in a minute. Hey everyone, I'm back, I'm parked, and I'm ready to talk about why I love the concept of starting with a no build so much. As you can see behind me, I've completely reworked Terra, and I am going to show you kind of a better look at that right now, although I am going to hold off on doing an updated tour a little while longer until I've had a chance to take at least a few trips in her, just to make sure everything works really well and that I'm not going to immediately revert back. But I do want to go ahead and insert a clip here that I showed on a recent video of what my most current iteration of Terra as a micro camper was prior to this most recent complete redo. and then I'm going to explain how I kind of got to that point. So take a look real quick if you haven't already seen this clip. So as you can see, I have a pretty decent amount of space, tons of storage with really some storage room to spare still if I need it. And it meets all of my needs, really more than I thought I could get out of a minivan, in terms of being able to travel around the country solo and be able to go off grid and pretty much go wherever I want to go. So I really have no complaints, but I mean, we can never reach perfection, right? And we're always kind of reassessing and reevaluating our needs and what we might want going forward, or how we might be able to make things even better. So with that in mind, from the clip you just saw, it's not way different from how I very first started camping last summer, but there were definitely changes I made. For instance, I started out with a cooler instead of a fridge. I did not have that 3-drawer storage unit that you've seen. I was just using a larger storage ottoman than the one you saw in my van tour, the one prior to me swapping it out for that floor cushion. And I mean, it was working. I still had plenty of storage space. I still had room, but I wasn't really utilizing the space that in the way that I could. I didn't like the fact that I didn't really have a seating area aside from my bed, and that there was really no place for me to hang out if I needed to be in the van other than in my bed. I kind of wanted an area separate from that. That's when I added my 3rd row seat back in, which is actually this seat right here that's now part of my bed. I decided that instead of having everything stowed, if I kept that up, then I would have a seat for during the day or relaxing at night before bed. and I would have a little bit extra storage space in the back, and then I wouldn't really be sacrificing anything. And I actually really liked having that as a seating space. It was very comfortable. I used it a lot to sit in, and then I was ending up only getting into the bed at night when I was ready for bed, which is kind of what I wanted in my head. So that worked great. But I realized that my goal of being able to access everything inside my van from either outside or inside kind of went out the window with that, because with the seat up, I couldn't get everything from the back half of under my bed storage. I had to go outside and get it from the back, which meant moving stuff, and that made it less convenient. So I needed to make changes yet again. Okay, I tried to shift my position so that I would be out of the shadows, and I grabbed my coffee. But as soon as I started, the sun shifted again. So I apologize for kind of the weird lighting. I'm hoping it's not too annoying and that you can still see me okay. It is a beautiful day out, but with so many lovely, gorgeous trees around me, it doesn't make for the best filming conditions. So hopefully this is okay. Back to what I was saying. So I went ahead and ditched the third row seat, as much as I did not want to sacrifice having that comfortable spot to sit in. And it kind of created a living space where I could have my computer set up in front of me at night, and it was like having a little living room. I really didn't like the fact that I had to move stuff around and that it was a pain to get to what I needed underneath my bed that way. And let's be honest, convenience and easy access kind of wins out over, the comfortable seat. I figured I could come up with an alternative for that. So I ditched that, and I ended up repurposing a smaller storage ottoman from my home base, which was smaller in length, but the same width. So I was able to, instead of having it as my headboard behind the bed, where I used to keep it when I did not need to use that area for my fridge, I ended up moving the smaller storage ottoman to the side of my bed, and I had a seating area, and I was still able to keep my 3-drawer storage unit behind it and still access everything. So I accomplished having my easy access back that I wanted, to being able to get to everything from either inside or outside of the van. I still had a separate seating space aside from my bed, so I thought I would be happy. But fast forward several more trips, I realized I wasn't really utilizing the storage ottoman as a seating space the way I did the actual third row seat. It was up a little bit higher, so I didn't have very much clearance for my head. If I had my hair in a bun, I was kind of catching it on the ceiling. So I was kind of back to using the bed all the time again. And my little storage ottoman just became extra storage, which I didn't really need, and an extra surface space, which I didn't really need. So it was kind of wasted space again. That's when I swapped out the storage ottoman for the seat cushion, and fast forward, we are back to that little clip that I showed you. And honestly, I had no complaints. There was really nothing that wasn't working for me. But in the back of my mind, I've always kind of had this layout or floor plan as my ideal layout of what I think I would want if I could accomplish in a minivan camper. And I really honestly couldn't see a way to make it happen without completely sacrificing either my storage space or some of the items like my little table or my 3-drawer storage unit that I had so come to love using. And then inspiration struck on a camping trip, and let me show you what we're working with now. Okay, I realize this might not work for everyone unless they're a little more vertically challenged like I am. But you guys, look at all my space. And I can open up both doors, and I have a completely clear pass-through. Ignore my Christmas tree rug, please. That's just temporary. So as you can see, I still have my storage unit here. I still have my table. I've just got my lap desk thrown under it for now. I've got my toilet bungeed here so that it can't tip over for any accidents currently. And then behind it, I was able to actually put my 3-gallon water jug securely in there. So now I can just have my sink pump right here and it's immediately in my living space. So it's so much easier to use. I just have a memory foam topper strategically folded multiple times to fill in the gap in the back so that it's level. And it's about, I would say, 21 to 22 inches deep, so not super deep, and 51 inches wide. I am 5'2", so I do utilize the wells on each side with pillows when I'm ready to go to sleep. But look at all this space. I'll show you the back now. So as you see, I can still fit everything that I needed to. I have all of my towels, sheets, water shoes, things like that that were in my little storage ottoman. And then under my bed, I have my emergency pantry food storage, my camp table, my camp chair is tucked behind this shelf, my fridge. I still have my garage unit with all of my stuff that I need less often, and as you can see, I have my WeatherTechs tucked in here until I need them, my mosquito netting and extra bags. The only thing that's not currently in here that I bring with me is my clam, which I can strategically place at an angle across the back if I need it out of the way when I'm not using it. Otherwise, I can lay it lengthwise across here, just, you know, if I'm transporting to the next campsite and getting ready to set it up. So much space. I can't believe how much room I have to move around in there. So I hope you like what little you got to see of Terra currently. I am thrilled so far. I've only had one overnight where I actually got to test out the bed. I think it's super comfy. I was able to stretch out utilizing those wells since I do have to sleep at an incline anyways now, thanks to my acid reflux if I lay flat. But we're not going to talk about that. The joys of getting older. You know, I did just have my birthday recently. So it kind of forces me to lay in the position that I need to lay in anyways. And I kind of took an honest look at myself over the last couple of weeks to see if I really thought I was going to need that extra move around space that the cot provided me. And even when I'm at my home base in my big queen size bed completely solo, I take up the exact same amount of space every single night. So I really don't think that it's going to be an issue. But I do intend to try it out, like I said, a few more times. And if I do like it, I'll show you kind of how I fit when I'm laying in it. And I'll give you a more in-depth tour like I did in my original tour video, which, here's the plug, if you have not watched yet, like I said, make sure you go over there after this and watch it. I really think that it's a good, efficient, and still very cozy and attractive use of space so that it's really a comfortable living space to stay in. I think the same about this, and I'm so excited to give it a really good test run. I've got a couple of camping trips coming up that I'm super excited about that I plan to utilize this in. And like I said, if those go well and I consider it a success, then I will definitely show you a more in-depth tour of the current Terra. In my head and my perfect world, I think this would be the perfect setup for the warmer months where I don't need, you know, my 0-degree sleeping bag and all the extra things to keep me warm. And then those few months out of the year where I do have to deal with really cold temps, I apologize to all of you that are still dealing with them. You know, then I would switch back to my old setup that I just showed you the clip of a little while ago. Anyways, as always, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, or if you want to see more of Terra, and who could blame you, I think she's looking pretty darn good. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I will see you again soon. Bye, guys.